live from the
I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
Okay, I think we're live. I can barely hear us a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We're here live from Monk's Corner Tap Room here in downtown Albuquerque. Let me switch over the camera so people can see our pretty faces. Hold on a second. There we are.
I can
Hopefully it
remember
comes
like
up.
maybe 6 or 7 years ago,
Hello, everybody.
like how there was,
Yeah.
we were walking in this part of like south of Central on like 2nd and 3rd Street, like how that never happened, and there's now foot traffic. We're actually in the same building as the downtown grocery store.
Yeah. I think they're bringing us food right now.
Ooh, look
Just in
at
time. And we just lost the feed.
that. Shoot.
You see, there we go. We're back. Sorry about that, folks. But we're here live amongst Tap Room. Come down, have a beer, drink a beer with us.
For sure.
Say hello.
Try the cider. It is delicious.
Yeah, let's see if it comes back up. Hold on. One thing is like they came down and they're like, hey, can you guys come out and do a show? I know there's a lot of space right here in the feed, but we're going to have some guests possibly within the show. Let us know if you guys can hear us out there. But we're live from Monk's Corner come down, have a beer. There's dogs, there's children, there's beers, there's a food truck.
There's a food truck. And you don't even have to leave the building to take their order.
No, is that right?
There's a person in the building who will take their
There
take your
is
order.
a person in the building that will take your order.
And I'm not familiar. I should have done more research, but isn't brewing beer kind of a monk thing to do?
I think that's
Traditionally, yeah.
Traditionally.
That's
and
how they made money.
we may, I'm not sure, but we may have, I can't promise this, but we might have an official monk on the show here in a little while. I
Yo,
can't-
it's beer brewed by monks.
One of the actual
Yeah.
brewers, or is it
What's
going to
it?
be one of the actual brewers? Like
I don't know if he brews, but he's a real monk from the real monastery, the Abbey Road Monastery, where they actually the recipe for the beer. I don't know. I don't know the whole story really. To tell you the truth, I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
have
sure
no
like
idea.
it's something you can go on the monk's website, but I wanted to be informed by them. I just want to look like a dumbass. And like, who is? I'm sorry, who is?
It's feeding back a little.
Who
I
are
think.
you?
Yeah, I can probably turn it here. They're saying in the chat that they can see and they can hear us, but it's really funny because like I wanted to whenever we first had a meeting with them, when I first had a meeting with them, I thought it was like just kind of a real fancy, not a fancy, like a marketing thing, monk's ale.
I didn't know there was actually monks involved.
Yeah, and
No,
the-
exactly.
and the guy was like, "I'm a monk," and I was like, "Oh wow." He's like, "Yeah, I'm on sabbatical. I'm just here working in the tap room until I go back to work in the brewery or in the monastery."
monastery.
Hi, everybody in the chat. The one thing that our show we talk about when we talk about beer, and Billy, I know, is a real big proponent of this. And I'll say it, since we're in a tap room of God here. Is that right? Would you say that?
I think so.
I think
Okay.
there's,
That's the proper
there's definitely
terminology.
some,
In a way,
some higher ups.
Yeah. We're gonna try to curb our profanity a little bit.
Oh, of course.
We always say we have there was a guy that said he said the rent's too darn high. Well, Billy and I and Smiley came up with and Michael, I don't know if you were with us when we did this. We came up with a saying: the pints are too darn high.
That's right.
If you I think I just knocked it out again. I think I knocked the. Did I freeze? Yeah, I froze it again.
Do we need to tape that in?
I wanted it to be taped down, but it didn't get taped down. Can we tape that down? So I was talking to them during their meeting, and they said, one of the things we want to really talk about is, like, we're going to have a pint night here. And I was like, go on. And he said, we're going to have $3 pints
Well,
on Wednesdays
what?
What?
and $5 chalices from 5 to 11. And I was like, and they're like, we don't know if you want to talk about that or if you will. Here, I can't physically do that.
Okay,
At
I
the
didn't want to
same
get in front of them.
So go on. Like $3. I think $3 pints these
pints.
days are unheard of. Like who?
Unless it's like a happy hour.
Even then, actually, it's come to the point where happy hour pints are now $4 or more. Long gone are the days of the $2 Tuesdays.
The
Long
$2
gone
Tuesdays.
are the days of the $3 happy hours.
Unless you're doing like a
You're
$2
lucky to get a
PBR.
$4 pint at happy hour.
It's gone.
Yeah.
We're having a little technical difficulties because of just the logistics of doing a live show out in the live wide open. I think the camera has completely gone into error. I can't get to it. Can you go see if it's... I can't get the camera to pull back up, but I'm trying. Does it say error on anything? No? It looks fine? Okay, because I can't get anything.
If you want to go there, I can actually keep the show going.
We just keep losing everything.
Does it say error or anything? Yes. Okay. Can you shut it off and turn it back on? Yeah, there we go. Let's try that.
Which I feel,
Yeah.
I guess, what in the industry we call like the first thing. Well, there's no industry
Did you
term
turn it
for
on?
It says what? Error? Okay, you're going to have to unplug it completely? Here.
So welcome to 10 Drink Minimum. We are here live at Monk's Corner Tap Room. And the thing is, I've actually heard of Monk's. Monk's was like a brand that I was well aware of years ago. I just didn't know they were from New Mexico. And so now we have the tap room here in lovely downtown Albuquerque.
I didn't know it was a local one either until
I didn't know it was New Mexico. I thought it was like some kind of like California. I thought it was like some bullshit.
We're back up. Sorry.
Weird brand that somebody came up with. Like, oh, Monk's. You know, that's great.
I think that I thought that too, because there's like I have to think there's I don't know. Let's look this up. There's got to be other monks that make beer.
Oh yeah.
And I know there's like a lot of time monks making beer. It's a good thing we have the internet.
Trappist breweries are a huge thing. They've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Trappist monks.
There you go.
It's like I said, like a tradition. Like there's probably recipes from thousands of years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the funny thing is that the first people to brew like beer were supposedly witches. Remember when we had that at the Santa Fe tap room? Is that beer was actually brewed by witches first?
That sounds like something a witch would do. getting
I just want to show everybody
drunk.
like kind of the tap room here. See if we can come back. Yeah.
That sounds like something monks would say.
I mean, there's different parts of like the church that I'm not well versed in. Like there's.
Let's get out the Wikipedias.
So a monk is, because in my head, like as ignorant as I am, I imagine a monk that takes. I guess he can't talk because there's like a vow of silence.
That is not true.
A monk, someone that devotes their life to a monastery.
Oh,
Right.
To monistic
and
living.
he even brought that up in the meeting we had. He was like, "Yeah, everybody always asks us about the vow of silence." He's like, "We don't do that."
Well, yeah, okay, well, you have to think about it this way. Shaolin monks,
yeah. Well,
Tibetan monks. It just means that you've dedicated your life to a certain style,
Yeah.
a monistic style at a monastery.
so
Do you think
okay,
a
so
Shaolin
say
monk
I
would fight?
dedicate myself
Uh-huh.
to, I don't know, Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Does that make me a monk?
Do you just live in a Pizza Hut and do nothing but work it there?
that sounds like idiocracy stuff. It's like I'm a monk for Pizza Hut.
I mean, basically that's what it sounds like it is. But of course, I'm the guy who likes to play ignorant on all these things.
You found higher consciousness through Pizza Hut.
So they're saying in the chat room, I had La Trappe Monastery beer in the Netherlands. Weird.
Really?
Interesting.
I'm really hoping the legit monk here is on mic because I want to talk about the history. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so this has been brewed since how long ago? I'm guessing maybe 1,000 years.
Has to be, right?
Like in Europe, they understood the idea of like, I don't know.
It probably goes back
hops,
to like Middle Ages, you know?
and you would just get drunk.
I've always wondered, though. Like, this goes back to like the one, you know, the meme where it's like someone looked at a cow and they said, "Ooh, I should drink the milk that comes out of that cow."
That's called hungry people.
Well, but I mean,
That
when
would be
was the first
survival.
time someone was like, "Oh man, we left all those grains in that water and it sat for like a week. Yeah, let's drink it." You know?
We need calories to survive. And it turns out they were just they got drunk.
Well, I'm pretty sure that started with any sort of fruit harvest. You let it sit on the ground and it starts fermenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is
No,
my fruit
what happened?
fizzy?
Oh my god, I saw a YouTube video or like a viral video of a moose eating like rotten fruit from the ground.
Yeah.
And this
They'll eat
thing
everything.
was so freaking messed up. He got his antlers caught in a tree, like stumbling. I'm guessing like I don't know how long fruit takes to have alcohol put in its on the ground, but like just having a beast eating off the ground like rotten fruit and it gets drunk off of it. How long do you think that takes? We should probably ask a brewer.
Right?
Well, we might have some of the people on the show if they have time to come sit down with us. Well, we're again live down at Monk's Corner Tap Room. I should put up here, let me add that to it. But you wonder if they were like looking at animals and they were like, "Ooh, that animal's all messed up."
I was watching
I
a
need to try
documentary on
that.
coffee, in Africa. That's the story goes, like, oh yeah, there was like a like a shepherd, and he saw his goat like eating like the coffee beans off a bush, and then it would just the goat would go crazy. That's actually legitly one of the theories of that how coffee was discovered.
Really?
Yeah.
See, you always got to wonder how what's the genesis of that kind of stuff. You know, you're
Then
just
again,
kinda
it could be just like a folklore, old wives' tale.
Well, one thing I've never gotten to try, and I've always wanted to try, and if anybody's out there in the chat has tried it, I want to try mead.
Oh, it's
You know.
delicious.
Is it?
Honey wine?
I've never had it.
It's honey beer, honey wine.
It's fermented honey. Yeah, it's like honey wine. Well,
Honey
like,
wine is what it's called,
Is it a wine?
technically.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it's it's called honey wine, but it's fermented honey, and it's freaking delicious, dude. We make it in state.
Yeah.
Like during allergy season, I like to get a bottle because it's made. It has all the local pollens in it.
Yeah.
That's weird. So it's just honey and water, pretty much.
I gotta think
Well,
so.
I think
don't know.
there's a little bit more to it than
there's
just
more to
honey
it
and
than that,
water.
but the sugar in it that's being fermented is honey.
Yeah.
I've actually had mead, like homemade mead. It tasted like pretty harsh wine.
Oh, because usually it tastes like honey.
Well, I don't want the kind that some dude made in his bathtub. I want like
A legit
professionally
mead.
made, legitimate mead. You know.
And like
Doesn't Angry Orchard make a mead? Like, I know that's kind of off the random, but I'm pretty sure they make a mead that you can buy.
they might.
And
Where's
it's
this at?
It's an Angry Orchard. It's made by Angry Orchard.
They make a mead?
Yeah.
Really? And
Because
that's like
I've
at
been-
the store?
Yeah, you can get it at the store, and I've been tempted to get the bottle. I think it's like a $15 bottle of mead.
If you live in New Mexico, we have local mead here.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty big on bees here, like honey in general. Or I think anyone who's predominantly like an organic state, who's all about that shit.
All the
we can make
beekeepers.
mead. Yeah.
We're like the desert version of the Shire.
Yeah.
We got lots of beer. We got lots of honey. We got lots of lambs. It's
Yeah.
great.
Can I bring something up? Because this has
Yeah,
been
go ahead.
bothering me for like the last week.
Okay.
So BuzzFeed,
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of this publication out of L.A.
I have heard of this BuzzFeed publication out of LA.
Some guy thought it would be cute, like to post a video of the most popular alcoholic drinks that were in each state.
Okay.
And a lot of things like I can see, like, okay, so you have California, it was like a margarita or something.
Okay.
You had
What was Florida?
Florida was I don't know.
The blood of Cuban children.
The plight of Cuban children. Yes. Yes, it was.
But
It was the pina colada.
Colorado was beer because they actually have more breweries per capita than any other state.
Yeah.
Oregon was beer.
Yeah.
We'll
get
you. We're tequila.
But and all these like heavy
Right.
college states, like especially the South, had some really weird fruity concoctions. And so I thought, like, okay, when it gets to New Mexico, I can guess one of two things. It's just like something made with Fireball, which I can understand.
We're like the most
Really,
we're
Fireball?
The most like I don't want to say the word ghetto. I was told the word ghetto is racist, so I didn't know that. I was like, I live in the ghetto, and I don't know, but
So when I call my local Smiths the Ghetto Smiths, that's wrong.
that's what I was told. Yes.
And everyone that works at the Ghetto Smiths who calls it the Ghetto Smiths is also wrong.
Yeah. Right.
That seems
That
wrong.
place will always
But
be
I
the
would
Ghetto Smiths.
automatically assume it would be like Fireball.
Okay, so when it gets to New Mexico, I'm thinking one of two things. It's some weird, like, cheap drink you can get at Leo's that involves Fireball. Maybe like a mixed shot of Fireball and maybe
Yeah.
tequila. I can get it. But no, it's a drink called the Chimayo cocktail.
The Chimayo cocktail?
Yes,
And I have never
I've
heard
never
of this.
heard of it.
I have.
And so I would actually
But so
think
how
that
can that
they
be-
were progressive enough to actually
Okay.
recognize our beer scene here in New Mexico. And it's like, oh, you know what it is? It's gonna be like a blonde or something. Like maybe
Yeah.
they would do something of Marble's menu. I thought it would have been beer.
Right.
But no, it's a Chimayo cocktail. And basically, it's 1.5 ounces of tequila.
Yeah.
3 ounces of cider.
See, at least I
Cider?
knew I had tequila in
Okay.
it.
It's cider tequila.
And I had to ask Smiley about this. 3/4 ounce of creme de cassis.
Creme de cassis.
Creme de
That's one I
cassis.
don't know. Wow.
Or Chambord.
Oh, okay. Chambord. I know Chambord.
And lemon juice. I've never had this drink.
So do we have to have this drink now? I mean, is
No,
that
Okay, well, here's
the Smiley was actually explaining this.
here's the thing. This is obviously written by
stealing
someone.
my catchphrases.
This is somebody who's never lived here,
Right.
because this cocktail is exclusively served at hotel restaurants. Almost every hotel
Oh.
bar and restaurant.
Every time they've traveled here, they're like, well, that's the drink I get.
Oh, yeah,
So,
it's-
I'm at the Hyatt. It's like, what's a New Mexican drink?
And they're all this one, according to us.
No, according to us, it's the Chimayo drink.
But
I
yeah,
never knew that.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
every hotel you go to will have that there.
I would say you would get a Moscow Mule here before you would ever get a Chimayo cocktail.
Well, it seems to be. But do you think that's just blown up here, Moscow Mule, or has it gone like
I think
nationwide?
Moscow Mules
Is
are
blown
like
up.
everywhere now. I think that's like the white girl drink for sure.
No, it's yes. Instead of the Cosmopolitan,
Very
it's the Moscow
cosmopolitan.
Mule.
I haven't seen someone drink a cosmopolitan since like
Sex in the City.
The Art Bar?
1998. Yeah, right. What's that? The Art Bar, maybe.
The
Yeah.
Art Bar. I used to
The
get
Art Bar,
Cosmos
yeah.
over there.
You were the last person.
I got Cosmos or Manhattans.
What I think is pretty interesting is like we are literally blocks from the Art Bar,
Our
old
location.
stomping ground. Yeah, we used to do live shows there every Sunday night, live from the Art Bar.
That was
Now-
when I first saw you guys. saw the
Completely
show.
live.
Yeah,
Audience.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
and
Guests.
then we've done it, pretty much all over town now. We're just all around town. I don't want to say the word I was going to say because we're in a place of
It was our training ground.
they asked me to calm it down. They're all, can you calm it down, Chris? And I said, for you guys, I will calm it down. I do want to mention something that they have the $3. So they have $3 pints and $5 chalices on Wednesday nights from 5 to 11. And that kind of fits in with our, the pints are too darn high. It's like
$3 is amazing.
$3 pints. I mean, you cannot find that hardly anywhere in town anymore.
And you want to know, actually, one, that's awesome. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Two, they have outlets everywhere. How is
Yeah.
not any other establishment caught on that you need to charge your phone at any given time?
Dude, there are outlets everywhere. That is amazing. Like, if you want to charge your phone here, you and your 3 other friends at your table can all charge your phone at the same time.
I'm not going to name bars, but I'm downtown a lot.
Yeah.
And so, say I do have 17% on my phone, I have to get my charger and ask the bartender to plug it in behind the bar.
Yeah.
But here, it's everywhere you sit.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm gonna grab
It's
actually
like
another
right
beer.
here.
Okay.
Actually, for the little segment here, I want to talk about my favorite beer so far. But
What's
I'll be
your favorite
right
beer
back.
here so far? I'm going to shut your mic off while you're gone. So they also wanted me to mention one other thing, because they brought us here. They I'm not going to talk about compensation, but we don't pay for beers here, and one of the things that's awesome is they're like, hey man, they're trying to do a lot of different cool things, and so they're going to do a Saturday nights. You get a beer, a barbecue sandwich, and a side from the food truck for $11.
That's amazing.
That's a really good deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and if you want to see what that looks like,
I just ate mine, and it was fantastic.
Shit, I should
there
have
you
waited
go.
and ate
That's
here.
that's if anyone can see it, that's
Yeah.
not quite what you're getting, but half of that
Yeah.
for
And,
$11 is amazing.
I'm sorry if the video feed is a little blurry, but we're out and about. This is not optimal, but it's actually pretty good. But I've been drinking the Wit, and I think they said they've been around since 2005, I believe. So
And
Billy's
I'm
going to throw our stuff away.
I'm doing the dark ale.
How is that?
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous. I would have loved to do like just more tasters, but I kind of got here late, and so I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, give me this.
Whenever we do a live show out and they give us like free beer, that's when I try the beers I wouldn't try normally.
Yeah.
So I'll go into like like everybody's like try the sour or the pear or the whatever. But so far I've been drinking this wit and I've been really digging.
Do you want to know my process as far as trying a new brewery?
No.
Not
I'm just
really.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not at all.
My process
Yeah.
is I always go for the IPA.
You do.
I do, and I'll tell you why. It's really, really hard to mess up an IPA.
Yeah.
I've had one that's been really bad.
Yeah.
It's not been in New Mexico.
Let's
No,
not-
it's really
okay.
easy to mess up an IPA. It's really
Yeah.
hard to make a really good IPA.
Well, it's hard to mess up an IPA because the thing is, like, in my mind, you got this thing that's bitter, and it makes you feel good.
Right.
That's
It's bitter and it makes you feel good.
The criteria.
When we brew our beer, that'll be
But
that'll be the
it's
slogan.
really hard. Like, I don't go for the pilsners. I don't go for the light white wheats.
Yeah.
I always
Do you
feel.
have time? Sure. So we've got the guy that booked us. Let's pull this microphone. You're gonna eat the mic like I eat
And
it?
this is
If
a
you
good-
pull it up
Alright.
to you. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, cool.
This is Allen. Allen, what's your job here?
I play a few different roles. So I am a bartender. I'm also an events coordinator. So I run all of the beer festivals that we do. And some of the events at the tap room, like I brought you guys in.
Yeah. Don't look at me. Look at the mic. Yeah.
Okay.
There you
Sorry.
go.
But that's pretty much what I do. And when I'm
Yeah.
not, when I'm not bartending or putting together events, I am up
Shooing away undesirables.
pretty much doing a little bit of the grunt work that nobody
Yeah.
else wants to do. I also clean all of our lines.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of sales rep work. So sometimes you'll catch me out there.
We have
That
a
is-
pocket of
market.
people taking photos over here.
Take out
Hi.
paparazzi.
Are you taking photos or you guys do video? Snapchat. Sweet. Our favorite. Yeah.
So I have
that's
a question.
cool.
Are you aware or a part of the brewing process here?
I am not a part of the brewing process.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel it's
Actually.
like the monks.
Oh,
They do that.
yeah, the monks do. Yeah, it's a secret. It's secret.
I want to feel there was like a parchment, maybe a
I do-
scroll that they unravel,
Yeah.
like from
The recipe and everything.
yeah,
That
from the
is what-
seventh century.
Yeah.
That is what you'd think.
There's like a vault somewhere in a cave, where they have to go and pray for several days and fast. Then they get to go in and see the recipe to make the beer. I'm hoping this.
I'm
is how it
hoping
goes.
this is what
I'm
happens.
actually. That sounds.
That's
But it's
pretty.
still-
it's
it's
pretty
delicious.
close. Pretty close.
He's like, no, we just Earl has it.
No,
Earl's got it.
Earl was trying something out, and we thought
Yeah.
it tasted good.
Earl had a wild hair, and he's like, let's do an IPA that has kind of a lemony zest to it,
You dropped a bag of pills in there,
Yeah.
and there we go.
So did we bring? I mean, is this more than you thought we would bring, or less than you thought we would bring?
This is about what I thought it would look like. Yeah, I've seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen some other, podcast shows.
They're terrible.
and-
All of
yeah.
them are terrible.
I agree. I think you guys are the best.
I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I don't know who you've seen or like, but we try to do a professional thing. Thank you guys for videoing. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tasteful. Hopefully it's tasteful. We're not like Snapchatting. We're Snapchatting
We have,
this
like,
podcast.
they-
Look how these nerds. Look at these nerds.
They put the Snapchat filters on us as we're talking. Like we all have like bunny ears.
So
or something
here's my
going on.
question.
Oh, now you're giving me ideas.
So being a part of this great establishment, did you have a beer pass before this, or did you have to learn from them
Yeah.
when you?
So before I actually started working specifically in the craft beer industry, I was more of a connoisseur.
Oh, okay.
I've always worked in the service industry as a server or bartender, busser. It's
a
pretty
buster. I don't think that's a good thing, bro.
No, it's not.
I'm a buster. And I'm just kidding.
But yeah, and then these guys kind of gave me a chance, and
Yeah.
I just kind of jumped in balls deep, and it's awesome. I love it. It's the best job I've had so far. I mean, it's really awesome too, just working with beer.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's pretty much all I do is just pour beer for people.
Oh,
It's-
man.
it's very easy.
I just want to reference someone in the chat. Her name is Leah, I think. And she said we're all pretty, and I want to say thank you to that. Because,
thank you.
yeah, I will always
Thanks, Leah.
reference someone that says we're pretty.
Thank you, Leah.
She said, "I wish I was in New Mexico because y'all are all pretty." Like, I don't know where she is.
My idea is like I want to look like a snack. It's like he's want to eat off Billy.
That's awesome. So now that you're in the brewery scene of Albuquerque, how would you describe it to an outsider that's coming in like that says, "Oh, this is our first place. We just got off the bus over here." What kind of scene do you have here in Albuquerque?
So it's really cool. I always say
You're all. This is the only place. Sorry.
So it's no,
This
it's cool.
only
I
place.
always say that we're really spoiled with the quality of beer that we have here.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely New Mexico.
Yeah.
Albuquerque in general.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean we have so many world-class brewers, and we
Right.
take home so many awards, collectively as a state, and I think we're really blessed. I mean,
Yeah.
you like pretty much anywhere you go, you won't find a bad beer.
No. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Unless you're ordering a domestic or something.
I feel like
Yeah,
like
right.
if you roll in, I mean, there is definitely like you guys have been around since what, like 2005? Is that correct?
We actually, we've been brewing beer since 2005.
Okay, so you guys have been around.
Yeah.
But you have like these people that I'm not naming any places, but like they're like, you know what? We made a good chunk of money in the plumbing industry. And we're retired. Let's just take all that money and open a brewery because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you have to out of the gate kick ass. I feel like we're at that level. You out of the gate, you either have to have one of two things: great beer or great food. If you don't have one of those, done. I think.
You have to have at least one signature.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to
Yeah.
pick yourself out from the crowd.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
people will go, well, how's that place? And they'll go, oh, the beer's good. How's the food? Or they'll go, how's that place? Oh, they have good food. That's never a good sign when someone says that right away.
Right.
They have great food. You go, oh.
And here's my thing. So
And how's the beer?
you're part of this crew.
Yeah.
So that encompasses a lot of things. You have to know the competition.
Yeah.
Right.
So, is there other brew other than Monk's that you enjoy, or do you feel that Monk's is the best brew ever made?
Well, so that's a good question. So some of my favorite beer is beer that we make, like our Triple Reserve, our
Yeah.
Triple. Those are two of my favorite beers just of all time. But I mean, I love all New Mexico craft beer. Like Bosque, I love everything that Bosque does. Like John doesn't make a bad beer. I really love, La Cumbre, Boxing Bear.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites right now.
Are you guys friends, or do you guys like?
Yeah, no,
you
we're
drive
all-
by and Mad Dog, you're like,
No, not
No,
at all. That's
you don't-
So,
I'm
so
not
you,
going
actually,
there.
I imagine him driving by like in a really slow and doing that.
yo.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a
no,
little
that's
extreme.
another thing that I was
That's a
going to
little
say. I
extreme.
really love about the
Yeah.
local brew scene here is everybody plays nice.
That's
for
good.
The most
They do
part,
like to share.
I feel like there's no like you're pouring some gas in a bottle and putting a little rag in,
yeah, there's none of that.
none of that. That's good. Not
I
yet. not
actually
yet.
really want to do like a Cheese May podcast where it's not us, but I want to know who are the dicks as far as the brew scene goes.
Let's calm the filth language.
Oh, I'm
Billy.
sorry. I
Yeah.
want to know who were the least favorable brewers in town,
favorable brewers.
personality-wise, not brewery.
We'll black out everyone's faces and they're all, let me tell you a story that not a lot of people know.
I'll tell you the bartender at Cactus.
Are you blacking out my face? It's all like digitized.
They're wearing like sunglasses and a bandana
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the voice modulator.
Right, voice modulator. So you said your favorite beers here are which ones?
From Monk's.
Yeah.
So my favorite one that we have on draft right now is the Triple. It's a Triple Belgian. It's absolutely fantastic. I love
Is
it.
that an IPA or is that Triple Belgian?
It's a Belgian.
Yeah, it's a Belgian ale. So
Okay.
it's going to be not very hoppy at all. It's going to be slightly sweet, very malt forward.
Yeah, malt.
You're going to get a lot of stone fruits like peach, plum, apricot. It's really well balanced. Goes down super smooth.
Okay.
And then one that we don't have right now, but we will have by the end of the month, is our Triple Reserve, which is actually made with hops that were grown up at the monastery by the monks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
They walk outside and they look at those hops and they go, not yet.
They are
Not
ready.
yet.
but
It's
It's not
Nice.
ripe. It's not ripe.
It's not ripe yet. They're all, nope.
But
I know. I have no idea how to make beer.
Put like oats maybe in a water.
You have big sacks of oats and like barley. And,
Oats and barley and wheat.
Love, lots of love.
And you
in
just
beer.
look at it and you just...
Not that kind of love, just love. Love. You know, tenderness. They massage the hops. We should do that. Like, there's a guy, he's like massaging the hops. He's like, what's his name? The guy from Sam Adams. He's all smelling the hops in the commercial. You know, I always wonder if that really happens.
And I think, like, oh my God, that guy's hand oil is in my Sam Adams.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
That one handful of
I
hops.
hope
is
you
in
washed
the
your
whole-
hands. Yeah. You know what I was upset about that? I found out his name's not really Sam Adams.
Really? What is it?
Oh my God!
I can't think of what his name is. The guy that runs Sam Adams.
Oh my God!
I don't know where I don't know where those hands have been.
Yeah, where's your hands been, guy?
I always thought he stood for honesty.
What is
Sounds like
his name?
Sounds like an honest name.
It's like Jim something or
Samuel
other.
Adams.
Let me pull it up. So, what is one thing that, like, since you now are in the industry, that you learned that you had no idea about?
Actually, the brewing process, just like the whole brewing process, because when I initially started working here, I was really interested in brewing and what the whole process was, and I actually at one point said that I wanted to learn how to brew beer, and I wanted to brew beer, and then I actually found out how it's done, and I have a lot of respect for brewers and assistant brewers that are there grinding. Like, it's hard work. It's really hard work.
His name is Jim Koch. Sorry, Jim.
But yeah, so I didn't really know what the brewing process was, and came to find that I don't think that's really where I want to be in the industry.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so you're gonna brew beer at some point. Have you ever brewed beer at home?
No, I haven't. I've helped out on a brew day before, and then I also play a little bit of a role in the development of our fruited beers. So like we'll sometimes do like a grapefruit.
Did you say fruited beers?
Fruited beers, yes. Like,
can you explain that?
Yeah. So
can you explain yourself, sir? I'm just kidding.
So last summer we actually did a blood orange wit, and then we did a grapefruit wit.
Okay.
We also did an apricot wit.
Ooh.
Now
what is a wit? I don't understand that term.
So wit is a Belgian style wheat ale.
Ah. Okay. I like it.
But yeah, so I kind of got to play a hand in the development of that, adding flavor until we got it where we wanted, and then yeah, so that was kind of cool.
When you're trying to look up Samuel Adams beer, don't type just Samuel Adams. There was a guy.
I've heard that.
I was like, wait a minute, he's a founding father? No. So it's Jim Koch. I lost my train of thought with Sam Adams beer because it was greedy. Now all I can think about is if I drink that Boston Lager, I got his greasy hands in the
I can only imagine what he did before he shot that thing. Like he's being some really, really gross stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, he's probably loaded, right? He's like, what did you do before that? He strips naked.
So being in the beer
I don't think
industry,
he does that. No, I don't.
So
think that happens at all.
now being like one of the breweries here in Albuquerque, I have a question.
Okay.
What was your first beer?
My first beer ever?
Yeah.
I remember my first beer.
I do remember my first beer, actually. It was a 16-ounce Ice House.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You remember the amount?
Harsh.
I'm
It
gonna
is.
say-
16-ounce
So-
ice house.
They only
Ice
came in
House.
tall boys. though.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something not nice here. Okay, so Ice House to me is the enema of beers because every time I drank it, like if it would clean me completely out the next day.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
be
what you need because you've got this
Oh.
funk going on.
It was
It's like
terrible.
the beer detox. Is that what you're trying to say?
It was the beer detox, right? So I was a big fan of the Plank Road Brewery back in the college days, and the Plank Road Brewery made. They were the Miller's Craft. Like supposedly it was on. It was
They
on
made
their,
like Red Dog
they
too,
were on
right?
their property. They made 3 beers, and maybe 4, but 2 of them you could find, and the third one was very hard to find, but it was the best one. And it was Red Dog, Ice House, and Southpaw Light.
Never heard of it.
Right, because you can't hardly find it.
And that was the best one.
Every time I found it, I would get it, and it was good. I'd probably drink it now and be like, ugh.
Do you remember your reaction when having a beer? Was it like, ugh, that's interesting?
Did you like beer? Or was the first beer disgusting, or did you like it right away?
Oh, it was absolutely terrible.
It was.
Yeah.
Mine
And
was
but
terrible.
It's always terrible.
And I tried to, I had to try and act cool when I was drinking it,
Yeah.
so it was like really hard to hide it though, because I was like with my older cousins, and
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like that
How
thing.
old
It's
were
like-
you?
I was like 11.
Oh my! Oh my Lanta!
Like I went from a Capri Sun to like an Ice House tall boy.
In the same night.
Yeah, they were kind of like wanted to get me drunk, see how I would act, Like, it was like fun for them.
I was about the same though. My dad gave me beer when I was a kid because they had those when I was a kid, and you can find them again. Those mini beers.
Oh, yeah.
They're a small fat can. And I don't really know why you would buy them unless you just want to trick yourself and think you're not drinking that much. Because
That's exactly why.
yeah, they're coming like an 8-pack, and they were like a little fat can like this. And I thought like, oh, those are for kids. That's what I thought as a kid.
Well, they are.
Well, yeah. So I would drink them, and it's like, oh wow. So I was the same way. But it always reminds me of like that movie Can't Hardly Wait. Did anybody ever see that movie?
I
Of
did.
course.
Yeah, when he's all, nobody drink the beer. The beer has
It's
gone
gone
bad.
Oh yeah.
And that's all I could think of.
Can I tell you my favorite so far
What's that?
is the number one, the Monk's Ale.
The Monk's Ale.
I want to say that's kind of what the recipe would
Yeah.
have been like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to all these people over here that came out to watch us tonight. Hi, all you guys. Yes, and
Hello.
Kale brought friends. We have
We all brought friends.
A shout out to Manny.
Yeah.
He showed up.
We have shirts for sale.
I
we have
brought-
new shirts.
All right, I
have
see
new
some
shirts.
things that need my attention.
Okay.
So I will be
Can
back shortly.
you said you had that triple Belgian? Can I
Yes.
get one of those and
Yeah.
try it? I want to try that.
I
I
want
want to
Absolutely.
try it too.
Yeah.
That-
All the way around.
All the way
All
around.
right,
All
I'll be right
around.
back, guys.
I'll let you know what I think. How about that?
We
Thanks,
will
Alan, for coming
We
on the
will
show.
discuss it. Thank you.
So anyway, I'm really butthurt about the assumption that we like the Chimayo cocktail. But Smiley's right. It's a person who flies into Albuquerque, stays for maybe 24 hours,
Yeah.
and they go to the hotel bar.
Right.
And the hotel's like, well, Chimayo's a thing, so here's like a fruity drink for you.
Right.
They have no idea of our great
beer scene.
beer scene. It's just in and out.
Well,
Don't they know we've won awards here? Damn
Don't
it.
they know? Don't they know cops?
We've
Well-
done well.
I don't know. What would you say is the New Mexico liquor though?
The New Mexico liquor?
Tequila.
I mean, we have a couple friends.
I
that-
would say it's tequila.
no.
No, I'm
Like
just kidding.
what, something.
There's no
made?
tequila made here, I don't
Yeah,
think.
no, it
Well,
can't
You
be.
can't. You can't.
We
No, you
make
can't,
we've
because you have to
people
make it out of
making
agave.
whiskey.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be whiskey.
But if you were saying, hey, like, what's the New Mexico drink?
Vodka.
What's that?
What?
Vodka,
New
yeah.
Mexico
What
drink
do
is
we drink
vodka.
here?
But I mean, like, mixed drink. If you were going to say a mixed drink, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I'm going to,
It's only for tourists.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen it at hotel bars.
The thing that people drink the most probably is vodka.
Vodka.
But I think one of my favorite alcohols locally is
Yeah.
the blue corn vodka, the blue corn whiskey from Palmer.
Palmer, okay. And that's a friend of ours. Good,
I
good guy.
would say definitely the most consumed hard liquor is vodka here in New
Okay.
Mexico.
I would say it depends on what level you're at. Because I got to party with some college kids recently, which is not a good thing to do at my age. Not smart, though I did out party most of them. But they're going to do something like
Except they were
Four
prob-
Loko.
They were probably able to get up the next day.
I did. No, I got the next day.
Yeah, he went out and partied the next day.
They're really like the younger generation of Albuquerque really loves Four Loko. They're into some Four Loko. Like
It's not even the original recipe.
No,
It's
and I was offering people like Tecates. I was like, "You can have a Tecate," and they're like, "No, I got these Four Locos." And I was like, "You don't have to drink that." And they're like, "No, I brought these. Like, I want these. I like watermelon Four Loco." And I'm like, "Okay."
What?
And then I got to think, the Heights crowd. You're gonna have like a little bit Jägermeister with
The Heights crowd.
with Red Bull.
I'll always go for some Jaeger.
And I will too. I'll drink Jägermeister with
I
Red
will
Bull.
on occasion, like I'll probably do a Jaeger bomb shot every once in a while.
Yeah, I will too.
Or
I
just
would-
even a shot of Jaeger. It has to be
Jaeger
very
bombs,
far and few in
Jaeger
between.
bombs.
Just for the fact that I can't stand the taste of black
This is
licorice.
my new
and that's
haircut.
exactly
Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger bombs.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it really.
You know what I
depends.
think? I think it is. I think it has a lot to do with like the migrant population is
Yeah.
Bud Light.
God no.
Okay. I would say there's a population of New Mexico that I'd say that's probably the most drank alcohol, like beer in the state, probably.
Oh yeah,
Bud
for
Light?
sure.
For sure.
Because Albuquerque's a small.
Oh, look at this! Look at this guy carrying these glasses like this. It's on the. He made the video.
Billy, can you put this over there?
There, I passed it around for you.
Thank you.
I'm nice. Thank you.
And so this is the triple.
Hey, everybody at home that's drinking along,
This is-
play along. Let's cheers to Monk's
Cheers.
Taproom.
I really don't like doing this over the soundboard.
Yes, I didn't either, but that was we had to do. I'm gonna say I really like that,
I like it.
and it's not because they handed it to me for free. It's actually
You know,
pretty
no. The
fantastic.
thing is, like, I think
Ooh,
a
that is
lot
good.
of people can get too cute with like either spices,
Yeah.
fruits, but this place is they got their the home run hitters.
Yeah,
They got the ales.
Okay.
They got the IPAs.
Smiley and
There's
I actually.
experimenting, and then there's going over way too far.
Smiley and I
Sometimes.
actually got to be judges. I don't know if they're going to do this again this year, but last year they did. Was it last year that we got to judge the competition?
The IPA challenge?
It wasn't the IPA challenge. We got to judge. Like they brought in all these bartenders. It was a bartender
Oh,
challenge.
that's right.
I think that was 2
remember
years
that.
ago, right?
Yeah, it was,
Was
a
that
couple
2 years ago?
I think
So
so.
we got to judge this bartender challenge, and it was one of those things where they brought in all these different bartenders. I think there was about 10 of them, right?
About.
Yeah.
There was 8.
About 8 bartenders from all over the city, and they did this challenge where they were like, make your best drinks, and there was like 3 different categories or something like that. Anyway, some of the drinks that they made, it was like they made them for that competition, and for me, I felt like, no, don't make a drink for this competition. Make your best fucking drinks, and let's see who's the best. And they didn't do that.
There was different criteria.
Yeah.
And you actually had to come in with 3 different drinks. So
Yeah. And there was a guy. Well, there was a guy though, and I give him points for like being way out there, but like he smoked his own ice. Like he took like a thing, like a fire pit, and then like covered it up and let the fire go into the water, and then he
And then
made
froze
ice
it.
cubes. They
Yeah.
made ice cubes out of the
froze
water. And then that was the ice cubes he used for. He brought his own ice cubes for the drink, and it was awful.
I'll tell you one thing about
It was
fire
It was awful.
or smoke in general.
Even
Unless you're eating it on like meat,
Yeah.
I hate. There's actually like campfire scent cologne.
No, there's a beer. There's beers now, smoky beers.
I've had
Uh-huh.
a couple beers that have like a. Well, I had one at the Hops Brewery,
Okay.
and it had a very. I think it was their Irish Nights or something like that.
Yeah.
And it had a very, very, very smoky taste to it.
I don't
And
know.
it caught me, and it kind of caught me off guard.
I'm not about smoke, guys.
No,
that's
no.
just that's.
well, it's a good idea. It was a novel idea. He went for it, and I don't. Something like that takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
and I don't think he really like realized like he should have watered it down. Like it was overpowering.
It was overpowering.
Yeah.
And
It was like I'm not sure what the other ingredients is because
yeah.
I just drank.
Yeah.
All
it was,
I'm
it was
getting is
terrible.
smoke. Yeah.
And we went for like simple. Like we chose the people. It was weird. Like Smiley and I kind of were close to the same on our judging. We were really more like for the simple drink that just tasted good. I mean, that's sometimes you can just do too much.
And the thing is, like, it was for a competition. Say you were to sell that drink
Yeah.
for $17 at a mixology.
People would probably buy it. And
They would
be
be like, "Oh, I love this."
Well,
yeah.
and then
you
then-
don't like this?
But then you'd have to really go for presentation
Okay,
because I can fancy up any drink.
Yeah.
just put some parsley in there.
What are some drinks that like ideas that you think are terrible? Smoky, I think, is bad. There's a brewery in Santa Fe, I believe, that is only smoky beers. I've heard.
You know what's
But
really
they
bad?
probably
heard
know
of
how
that
to
And
do it.
Chris, we had this
Well.
in Washington.
Yeah.
Bubblegum beer.
Bubblegum.
That's
Bubblegum.
never gonna die.
Bubblegum is a terrible idea for a beer. It was
Or
like
to have an aftertaste of bubblegum. You should
and,
never
and
have
I'm
an
gonna
aftertaste like
say their name. It was called the Aslan Brewery in
Narnia.
Bellingham, Washington, and we were looking through their beers, and they're like, you're reading the description, which to me, I always find that weird that like a brewery will have like a list and they're like a very summer ale with a nice blah 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 blah. Anytime I read those, I never get all the shit that they say in those, and I don't know if they pay someone to do that. But we go to the Aslan Brewery, and they're like, with a bubblegum finish. And
It actually said that in the description.
Oh, yeah. That's why I ordered it. And I said, man, there's a beer that tastes like bubblegum at the end. And it did. And it was not good.
And you had the full beer. You didn't just get a
There are
taster. You
two
just had the full.
things
No, I was an
I
idiot.
do not like in beer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much like the garbage disposal when it comes
Yeah.
to alcohol. Like, you can feed me anything. I'll be like, that's good, except for one Still Reserve.
Yeah.
But there are two tastes I really don't appreciate when it comes to crafting it. One is citrus. I
Really?
think citrus and like
That's weird. I love citrus.
and like hops together is just weird. Like it's like bubble gum and like orange juice.
I am very picky when it comes to citrus. Like, I don't mind it, but if it's going to overpower my beer and that's all I smell when I get it, I'm not going to enjoy it.
And number two is fennel.
Fennel.
Like licorice tasting.
Who does that?
Yes.
There's
Lots
a
of people.
lot of fennel, like licorice tasting beers, and I hate them.
I've never had that.
I love how licorice tastes, so I really appreciate.
I would be the opposite.
fennel beers.
I'd say, well, what does that taste like? They go, well, do you like black licorice? No. You just stop right there. We don't need to talk anymore about it. We'll just go on to the next thing.
Like citrus
Well-
and hops. Citrus and hops together should not go together. Like I said, it's toothpaste and orange juice to me.
I have to point out what just happened right there. Billy just used his beer as a microphone. I'm not shitting you. That was hilarious. I've never seen him do that, not one time. That's funny.
I was just so heated over this.
So when we were in a couple weeks, mid-December, we were in Pagosa Springs, Smiley and I, and we asked, like, I was sick the first night, so I didn't get to go out with Kale and Smiley, but they went out and they partied like amongst the citizens of Pagosa,
Yeah, we
Amongst the
went to a
locals.
couple bars.
and they were like, well, where's a good place to eat that we have to eat before we leave town? And everybody's like, this taco place, right?
Yes.
And so we go to the taco place, and it is so full. It's so good, apparently, there was nowhere to sit. So we're like, fuck it.
And a wait.
And a wait.
They're like, you can wait like
It's like
maybe
a 45-minute
15
wait.
Oh, is that what they said?
Something like that.
It was
It-
over 20. They said
It was
15.
over 20 minutes.
So I was like,
So I'm like, well, let's go back to the Riff Raff Brewery.
Yeah.
Brewery. Which I want to give a shout out. They were good.
Their snack burger was giant.
Yeah. They had a hamburger. Like, they had hamburgers that were like $11, and they were like named after movies, like the Buffalo Bill Burger, the Lebowski Burger, whatever. $11. Then there was randomly like one that was called the Snack Burger that was $7 with chips. And you're looking at it, you're like, well, I'm thinking like a snack burger is like a
Slider.
It's like a slider. No, it's like a quarter-pound hamburger, and I'm like, wait, what? How is that the snack
I am
burger?
the only person
Yeah.
in this group that values quantity in the same breath as
Yeah.
the taste or quality of it.
But
It was funny because it came out and like
Yeah.
this is a snack
and
burger?
it was a huge burger. Anyway,
Where are
the
their
lady,
full-size
we're talking
burgers
to the
like that?
girl who didn't know who Riff Raff was, the rapper. Because I was like, does Riff Raff, what would you guys do if Riff Raff came in here? And she thought we meant like just undesirable people.
Oh, yeah,
She goes, well, Riff Raff
hooligans.
comes in here all the time. I go, no. The rapper Riff Raff. And she goes, I don't know who that is.
And you have a brewery named
The Riff Raff Brewery. Yeah.
Oh my god! Do you have a picture of that place?
No,
I'm-
I mean, you can pull it up.
I'm going to tweet.
no, you
No,
do.
I did it right in front of the. Did you not see the video I did?
Uh-huh.
I was like, we're at the Riff Raff Brewery. I was
I
like,
did see that.
you're
yeah.
not going to ruin my 2K17 summer, and that was
But
me
let
referencing
me
Riff Raff.
tweet that at him, and I bet
Yeah.
he's going to take a trip to Pagosa, and we're going to see Meet Riff Raff.
Riff Raff at the brewery. So anyway, the girl goes, where our waitress goes to school here at
Yep.
UNM, and she's like, well, since you
What?
guys, then she made the cardinal mistake. Since you guys are from New Mexico, I thought I should bring over a taster of our green chili beer.
See,
I saw that video.
That's what I
And
call
your
being
face.
too cute.
Yeah.
I would hate heat in my beer.
No. Well, hold
No,
on
no,
a
no,
second.
no, no,
Hold
let him
on a
explain
second.
it.
Hold on. It keeps going.
She brings it to us, and I go, so is this from Hatch, New Mexico? And she says,
Oh, actually, that's too spicy for our guests, so we use Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Oh, my God.
No, she did not. No, she didn't.
What?
Oh.
That shouldn't even be called a chili beer
That's
then.
not green chili.
That's not green chili.
It's
That
a
is
chili.
not
It'd been
green
really
it's
funny. It's like, no,
green.
we get this from Denver.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
a chili.
God. Hell no.
And it's green, but it's not green chili.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my friend, and he's a boy. He's not my boyfriend.
Let me just say, I liked the beer. What does that tell you about their green chili?
That was
Not
the,
good.
the,
Not
mild,
good.
the mildest shit you could ever taste.
Because if you
Well,
liked
the heat
it,
part of it doesn't bother me. The heat part's not the problem, but the taste. It did not taste like green chili. I'm sorry. It did not. You don't know what you're doing.
Oh my God! I want to say, like, I want to buy like a tub of Anaheim green chili. I was like, I actually like green chili now.
Whoops.
I think green chili should only be put like on burrito, like used in its normal fashion, and then also like in chocolates, because you get like the red chili, like chocolate, like dark chocolate, and you get that spice and kick.
Red chili is also not good in
Well,
beer.
not red chili, but just chili in general. You put it,
Yeah.
you can put it in the dark chocolate.
Like mole.
Yeah, and
So-
it's actually really freaking good. Like
Yeah.
if you get it right and you get it proper, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But don't put it in a damn beer.
No,
Like,
I've had red chili in a beer and it gave me
because
such heartburn.
A beer is supposed to
Right?
help you, like because it has wheat in it. It's supposed to help you like calm down the chili, like the heat of a chili.
Well, yeah,
Just like bread or
chili.
milk.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
You
makes
don't
sense.
put it in the fucking beer. Excuse me. You don't put it in a
Whoa,
beer.
whoa.
Whoa.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're fine.
You just made a baby cry.
So we have ideas going in our head about videos we can make to popularize our channel.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really funny for us to like try to brew a beer without even knowing how to do it. Like sight unseen. Like, okay, so it's
No, I think I don't know sight unseen. I think we should like go to like just go get the recipe like WikiHow.
oh, okay, yeah,
I could do that.
Yeah, WikiHow.
and like have like brew it like boil like a
Well, you can
huge
make your own.
cauldron maybe.
yeah.
I made
You
my own.
can get an
Or-
in-home like brewing set for
or
like
we
a gallon
order,
of beer.
No. I think you're all wrong. I think we just need to order a Mr. Beer.
And which at the very end,
So what do you think? It's
like-
I poured the packets in.
It's like the pocket fisherman.
there is the yeast with the hops and the wheat.
The yeast with the hops and the yeast and the rape. Wow.
You know what I'm putting? I'm putting a little bit of cayenne pepper in there. Just
You're just mixing shit in. You're like, do you guys like cumin?
oh, I hate cumin, cumin, cardamom, and what was I saying earlier?
What is it? 3 C's.
Fennel
Oh,
are the
fennel.
worst spices in the world.
The what? You have the worst spices of all time. Talk about your all-time fails. So we're at the end of the first hour.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Monk's Taproom, which we're sitting in right now. If you're not
That's
here,
right.
then who knows where you are? Go to what am I? Does anybody have anything to promote? Let me pull Billy's.
I don't
thing.
think promote. I actually want to have like a patron here just come up on the mic, maybe if they
Okay.
want to, and just talk
if
about
somebody
their,
wants to until,
And actually, if somebody is like a loyal patron to this place, like
Yeah.
let me tell you what's good. Like the brewers will tell you, the owners will tell you what's good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what my favorite beer is.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you a story about my place.
My
You know,
favorite
I
beer.
met my wife
like this triple Belgian.
in this brewery or
Yeah,
in
it
this
is
tap
pretty
room.
So you guys can blah, blah. I have like bubble.
You guys can call us or no
Mouth.
calling in.
What's that?
We're not doing call-ins tonight, right?
No calls today. No.
Just chat.
Just chat. Get in the chat room. Get in the chat room, man. They said Mr. Beer sucks. Do the regular boil. You will like it a lot. I just want to do a stupid Mr. Beer video is really what I want to do for YouTube. Guys, I'm here to do an unpacking of a Mr. Beer. You know,
Oh, the mystery beer?
Well, first of all, what we'll do. We'll buy a Mr. Beer, and then we'll do an unboxing of the Mr. Beer. We'll just do like every YouTube trope there is. We'll do an unboxing.
And then we'll taste it.
Yeah.
And then we'll blindfold
Then we'll
taste
do like
it,
the how-to.
And then we'll do this.
You know, and then we'll like do the review of the Mr. Beer, like every bad YouTube trope there is. Then we'll use the Mr. Beer as a drone and fly it around,
I think
and or electric skateboard. Make it out of that, you know?
little hoverboard.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great video to make. Is like all of us make our own beer and see
Yeah.
whose is the best.
Oh, we'll make our own beer. Okay. Yeah, maybe we should do that this year, this summer. Let's do that this summer.
This summer.
Okay.
Okay, so
Coming this summer.
I'm down.
Okay. And we still have to work on the real beer, the podcast fuel. With
Podcast
the actual real brewery. I don't want to give them a shout out while I'm sitting in another brewery though, but we'll work on that. Podcast fuel. So you guys can add us. Like we've really kind of like upped our try to push for this show.
For yeah. For the
Add
new
us
year.
on iTunes. Go on iTunes and subscribe. Go on iTunes and leave a review. That helps us out tremendously. If you add us on Facebook, facebook.com /10drink. But if you go to 10drinkminimum.com, it's all there. Our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Instagram, all that stuff. Help us out 2018. We're really trying to take that next level step
That's right.
to jump up.
What else is new with us?
We have T-shirts for sale. I don't have a lot right now, but they're $10 a piece. I'm wearing the shirt. Billy's wearing the shirt. So I designed it. It's kind of a play on the Baby Driver poster. I know people are like, can I have one? I don't really have a lot to give away. I'd like to sell some and then, rebuy a new batch.
Exactly. Forthcoming. I'm also making promo for the show. If you like drawstring backpacks.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we'll have those here.
And maybe down the road we'll do a 10 drink minimum Mr. Beer and a 10 drink minimum powered skateboard. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
We'll see. Stick around for the Wavy Hour. We might have some cool guests in that second hour. We'll find out. We're going to kind of walk around, take a bathroom break, have a good time. We definitely drink when we do the show. You should as well. But always remember, never get too drunk to jerk.
10drinkminimum.com.
Strong, there's no use volunteering us down. I'm speaking of wishes, boy, the days they could be better. Don't assume right. I'm just way high, the world's a bar, and I want it to save a portion for us. What could be better? How do you do that? Till the play song, I'm back to my dream of starting my days next to your skin. Chase it on. Was it you? Your face is when eyes your lips. I've got time to park at you. this strong, there was no use to crawl and tear us down. I'm speaking on wishes, boring days, they could be better. Don't assume I'm just way high. The world's a ball and I want it to save a portion for us. What could be better? How do you do right? To the place song, I'm back to my dream of starting my days next to your skin. I'll chase it all, chase it all. Do you hear that sound? It's the sound of you taking me back. Your eyes sit on, that look is fine. For us to ride in. Come on, just a slice of what we had. It's just the same. Let's all riddle me a coin of ghosts floating in a maze of my demise. The path is set for a certain kind of time machine to take me to the dawn of when we met. That sound is the sound of you taking me back. Your eyes say no, that look is mine. The bad side for that's alright in a guess. Come on, just a slice of what we had. Back to the bell, does it hurt? Wings will cover both the watch it feel free to fall. Tried and failed to achieve the goal. And all these seconds, the ground will greet you. And did I expect when the wind was strong and the current made the ascended fun, that I'm more than just a man? And pleased to meet you. The soil sings as my love says, let's cover the earth right. It's hard despite the shelter quiet. Let's cover the earth red. It's hard despite the Sunday quiet. I'm thinking of everyone I've loved, the ones I adore. They won't hurt anymore. I'm thinking that I wake up and home, but I can never be sure that there was ever a cure to my being the singer of those songs, the curious boy, so the more I destroy. Let your body close to mine, turn it back to the day they were hurt. So cover both our spine, all the pain will be gone anymore. Put your body close to mine, turn your eyes to the sky and close them. Put your body close to mine, turn your eyes to the sky and close them. Stays, everybody knows. Somebody throws a different way of knowing. How you let me on. All I care about is what keeps us strong. I woke up with people keeping eyes on my heart. Say you will be a part of this faded love of mine. I woke up and I'm coming out lonely in this mess I've won. And I'm coming up lonely in this mess I've won. Say you will be a part of this faded love of mine. If my time will bury me now, would you wanna hear? Would you wanna hear? Would you wanna hear? If my voice will bring me back around,
I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
All right, back from the dead. We're back for the second hour, the wavy hour, whatever you want to call it. Seems like we're louder. Did you turn it up?
No.
A little bit? That's fine.
A little
It's
bit.
fine, yeah. We're back, Monk's Corner Tap Room here in beautiful downtown
Downtown
Albuquerque. Yes. So, yeah, we've got Thomas, who's going to join us for the wavy hour. He has a beer in his hand. And so let me make sure of this. How would you describe, man of God? I don't know the words. Am I at a line saying that?
Well, I would assume that that's true of a lot of people who aren't monks, The majority of people, when people say, when they say to me, "Oh, you must be so holy to be in a monastery," I say, no. The reason people go to a monastery is because we realize that that's the only way for us to make it through.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Thomas, right? It's Thomas.
It's Thomas, that's right.
And it's like that's a very that's a very Christian name. Thomas.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. As mine, Michael. My first name is actually Michael. My middle name is Christopher. So also very religious. Yeah. So whenever we had our first meeting, or our only meeting, I was completely oblivious that there was actually monks that were in the process of making the beer here.
We thought it was like a cute brand name.
Yeah, I really did. I'm sorry.
Well, that's true for a lot of people. They'll come in and they look at the pictures in the tap room or look at the package that we have for sale, which features pictures of monks. I know every one of those monks. Some of them I've known for 20 years or more.
Yeah.
So
And they're real people.
My normal thing, I give out arbitrary numbers. Like, I'm the guy who's like, okay, so there's 75%, there's like percentages, there's numbers I give out. So I made the assumption that monks have been doing this for like 1,000 years.
Do you know like the history of like the monks making beer? I mean, you kind of told me a little bit about it during the meeting.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously it began not just with monks, but when people found out that grain could make a pretty good drink. So how it entered monastic or Benedictine culture was that in the Rule of St. Benedict, which we follow, which is a 6th century wisdom document, he says in there, everyone knows that monks should not drink wine.
Okay.
But they can't be convinced of this, and so he said, I legislate this, that they can have a hemina of wine a day. But nobody knows how much a hemina actually is.
Oh.
So
it's like a parsec.
Yeah.
So actually in the 9th century, there was a meeting that took place to kind of legislate what monastic life should look like, what it should have in it. That is on the part of the wider church.
Okay.
And the realization was that wine wasn't available everywhere. Benedict was an Italian. Of course, there was wine there.
Sure.
But in
Like
Northern
the
Europe,
availability
they
of
did not.
grapes, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead, it says in that document, in places where wine is not available, the monks may drink beer. So ever since then, we've been drinking beer.
There you go.
And
Fantastic.
brewing beer, too.
So where is the monastery that you're a part of? It's up by Espanola, is that correct?
Well, it's actually up off of Highway 84 on the way to Chama.
Okay.
And after you go by a ghost ranch, most people know that place on the road.
Yeah.
About a mile afterwards, there's a small brown sign that says Monastery 13 miles.
Oh, okay.
And that takes you up Chama Canyon, which is one of the most spectacular canyons, I suspect, not only in New Mexico, but in the world. So it's a beautiful place. So
you immediately, when we were having a meeting, said that everybody always asks you about the vow of silence. And you said, well, we don't do that.
No, but sometimes when I'm in here when it's very noisy, I was wishing that it was actually effective. But
I would pull that vow out and be like, just when people are just really annoying.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we're taking a vow of silence for the next 20, 30 minutes.
But no, you guys have blown up. Like this thing, I've heard of monks before, and I've had their beer, had your beer. And I always thought it was just, I didn't even think it was in New Mexico. And now you have this tap room here.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was made by actual, monks.
Yeah.
And you've been bottling the beer more before you even had the tap room open, is that
right?
Long before.
Right?
We didn't open the tap room here until October of 16.
Yeah.
And we've been brewing, our first flagship beer was Monk's Ale.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was brewed commercially in 2005.
I remember, and I remember that because I was in college. Well, it was around beer, and I remember seeing it. And then when I first moved up here in 2006 or 7, I started going to the New Mexico Beer Fest. Mm-hmm. And you guys would go there. And I would get Monk's Ale.
I would get the Monk's Ale too, yeah.
It's the ale, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that Monk's Ale is actually patterned after the original monastic brew, which was called the Pater beer, which was the beer that was given to the monks during penitential seasons as a little extra from the Pater, from the father of the monastery.
Oh, nice.
But it only had 1 or 2% alcohol, so it just had, nutrients and protein in it.
And calories, pretty much.
Yeah, it had calories for them.
Just enough oomph to get you going.
So like I said, I always thought of it as a brand. Is the Monk's Ale, could another monastery, say in another part of the world, have that? Is there another Monk's brewery anywhere else other than New Mexico, with that brand of beer?
Well,
or do you have that
trademark?
trademark?
Or do you know of another monastery that
actually
is brewing beer?
The brewery is Abbey Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Because we're an abbey.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from, the Abbey Brewing Company. Monk's Ales, just because we're monks, it's catchier. Most people don't have a clue as to what abbey is.
So there's not a monastery, say, in, Maine that does the same, who actually brews beer, but never thought to actually commercialize it and sell it.
Currently there are, I think, 3 or 4 monasteries in the United States that brew beer.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's actually, that sounds like a low number. Wow. I thought there would be more than that.
Well, it's partly because of the history of the United States with alcoholic beverages, So
isn't it? It's more. It happens more often in Europe, because I remember working in the liquor industry. We had lots of Trappist Monk's ales, 7 of them in particular.
Yeah.
Were known for making beers.
Well, the Trappists are known for their brews.
Yes.
And because they have that name and they've registered that name, that it's a Trappist brew.
Yes, exactly.
But can you explain what that is?
What's a Trappist?
I think
it's
that
a kind
just
of
has
beer.
to be brewed in a certain way, and maybe it has to be brewed by Cistercian monks.
Oh, wow.
Cistercians are Trappists.
Okay.
But Cistercians are simply a group that was a reform of the early Benedictines. They still follow the rule of St. Benedict.
Okay.
So
interesting. So what can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where how you got into all of this? Wherever you want to go with that. I mean, that's a very
Actually,
broad.
can I ask the first question?
Sure.
It's a 10-drink minimum question.
Okay.
Do you remember your first beer?
Actually, I don't.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah. And
I feel like you said too many syllables. I think it's like Iowa. No?
But
Iowa.
the thing is that I've been out of Iowa so long that many people wonder what country I'm from. That's what they ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I've lived in many different countries, too. So.
Yeah. So what brought you to here? I mean...
I was drawn to monastic life through an experience that I had during my studies in Washington, D.C. It was the first time I went to a monastery, which was a retreat at St. Vincent's Arch Abbey in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, was the first monastery in the United States that brewed beer.
Okay.
Really?
And then during Prohibition, they got out of it.
Wow.
And that brew is still brewed today in Latrobe as Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock. Oh.
That was a
So
monastic
Rolling Rock
brew.
has its roots in the monastery.
I didn't
Yes.
know that.
Wow.
Well, they got
That
bought
is a
out,
fun
though,
fact.
didn't they?
I don't think
Yes.
a lot of people know that.
Because it's funny because, like, the original Rolling Rock taste is not the same as it was before. It's a little different now that they got bought out.
It's kind of skunky or something. I don't
No,
know.
it's less. It's less skunky.
Okay.
But I was fine with that skunky because it was Rolling Rock. It was what it.
Yeah.
It's what it tasted like.
Yeah.
And I feel like they bought it and kind of like
Oh,
watered it down.
It changed it.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Homogenized it.
homogenized it. That's the best word I've heard.
Now it tastes like everything else.
Yes. But my experience here in New Mexico, when you said that the monastery is north of Espanola, that's what I thought in my head when I first came in 1978. I got off the Greyhound bus in Espanola thinking I'll just walk to the monastery.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
And it was 50-some miles. I had 2 or 3 rides, and most of the way I had to hike. So
Oh wow.
with a backpack.
Was there like a lot of hitchhiking involved in those days?
Well, not really. People wouldn't pick me up. Actually, in those days, I had hair, and it was down to my shoulders.
Oh wow.
You know, and so they.
So is there a certain style that is involved with the monastery? Like monks, is there a monk style of beer?
Yeah.
I don't know, because you have I call it the number one. You have the
Monk's
the
Ale.
Monk's Ale.
Yeah.
Is that pretty, I guess, similar
Well,
to like what they brewed?
Our
Back-
brews at Abbey Brewing are patterned after the Belgian or German monastic style.
Oh, okay,
brews.
yeah.
So
That's
they have a
pretty cool.
certain character to them that's recognizable, and either people really like it or they say,
Yeah.
"No, this is a bit too sweet. I want something hoppy."
Because
So that's why-
in my ignorance, I'm like they have like a parchment or like a scroll that gives you the recipe to the monk's beer. But of course,
Well, there are recipes, and they've been held by some of these monasteries for over 1,000 years.
See, I told y'all. I was sitting there like, I think they're holding it. They're like, you have to walk up to this, this cave. You have to kind of climb a mountain.
No.
No.
it's the river waters of
Our
Yeah.
head brewer is also the general manager now, who,
Yeah.
when we first started, he went to Belgium because we have associated monasteries there, and because
Yeah.
he was from our monastery, then they allowed him to come into the brewery, and they showed him everything that they knew.
Oh wow.
So
Interesting.
he learned from the masters.
That's fantastic.
What is your part in like the brewery process? I mean, what have you done like yourself?
Well, almost nothing while I was at the monastery. For the most part, since I'm also a priest, I'm a
Yeah.
priest monk.
Okay.
I have been assigned other places, chaplain to the sisters, but just recently I returned from South Africa, so I was there
Okay.
for several years.
Oh wow.
And there's
You're
no
like-
craft beer there.
No. You returned from South Africa to Albuquerque.
Yes.
How big of a transition was that, or is it kind of the same?
No, it's huge. It's huge.
Well,
Like, that's
we
a
were
massive-
watching our
that's a
friend.
massive change.
We were watching our friend's live feed earlier. He lives over in Borellis, and there was like SWAT team with a tank driving through his neighborhood. So
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Africa's safer. Yeah.
Do you feel that the Monk's Brewery brand has brought a lot of attention to the monastery? Do you see a jump in I guess attendance or like a recruitment?
I don't think so. A lot of people come out to the monastery thinking that we have a tasting room out there.
Oh, wow.
Which we don't, because the whole reason for going out at the end of a remote canyon surrounded by wilderness is for the silence and the solitude.
Sure, yeah.
And so we don't want to have a lot of people in for
do you have to put like an extra sign next to the turnoff? The brewery is, and then a list of directions.
Yeah.
Well, we have a small experimental brewery at the monastery, but that's to develop styles.
Yeah.
And that's in the private area for the monks, what we call a cloister.
Yeah.
So guests are not allowed to go there except without special permission.
Yeah.
So
okay.
All of our production takes place in Moriarty.
But that's recent, right? That's newer.
Well, no, we always had production somewhere else because we just didn't have the facilities.
Right.
out
Well,
there.
I mean, like Moriarty's, you're doing, because that's a Sierra Blanca, right?
Yeah.
They help you guys. Like, do you guys give them the recipes? Do they?
Well,
how does that work?
We have a special relationship with them, which is called alternating proprietorship.
Okay.
And we actually own probably half the bright tanks.
Okay.
And so they get to use them, and we get to use them, and it goes back and forth depending on
That's
what's
nice.
being brewed.
That's good.
So you guys are still brewing it. They're not brewing it for you.
They brew it for us because it's too far from the monastery for the monks to be involved in that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys have a say on what the brew is.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We're the ones that develop it, and then they just follow what we tell them to do.
I have this weird relationship with that Moriarty brewery, in that every time I used to go out there and work all the time on computers, and I would ask people, no one knows where that place is. And I would sit there and go, hey, where's the brewery? I'd go out to Moriarty, and I'd talk to a customer, and I'd be like, so where's the brewery at? And they're like, I don't know. You don't know? A brewery is in your town. It's not like it's not like a mega town. It's like, a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
No one ever knows where it is, And now they kind of have a tap room there, right?
Yes.
I believe, yeah.
They have a very small one, but they have a
do
wonderful garden.
Do they? Oh, really?
Yeah, nice beer garden.
Do they have your guys' beer at their tasting room?
Yes. So.
And you guys have their beer here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
reciprocity.
Yeah, reciprocity. That's a good word. Yeah.
So was it a choice to be a part of the Albuquerque downtown tap room, or were you, or was you appointed this to be a part of the Monks brand here in Albuquerque? Because
no, it was my choice. I actually requested that I be able to do it.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you have I don't know if you want to tell it. You have some stories of being here in Albuquerque. The first time was the first time you ever came to Albuquerque?
Oh yeah,
when you
always before it was just so I could go to the airport and fly in or fly out.
Not even from Iowa.
Yeah.
Not even from the monastery, but just Albuquerque.
No, he has a story about being a monk and coming to Albuquerque with the police.
Oh yeah, now I was wondering where you were leading to.
Yeah.
But yes, I came here to see a physician, went in for a medical appointment, but I had my dog with me because we were going to go camping afterwards, and I needed to renew his rabies vaccination. And so the dog was waiting in the vehicle, and I had water in there and food and windows down, and went into the medical office. I was visiting actually in consult with the doctor, and a police officer came to the door. Bam, 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 bam. The police, open up. So this doctor gets up and opens it up, and he says, someone has a dog left out in the vehicle, and I need to see that person now. So I thought they were going to arrest me, but I ended up going to court, and 3 different times trying to clear my name. But ultimately, of course, the guy didn't know I was a priest or a monk because I was dressed for camping.
Right.
So the judge, before we finally settled it, he said, "I'd like you to go visit with the officer in the consult room." And so I get back there, and the officer says, "Why didn't you tell me you were a priest?" I said, "You never asked me."
Why is that? Yeah. Why would it matter? Yeah.
Yeah. Why would it matter?
Obviously, you can be both at the same time, priest and a monk. They're
Yes.
not separate things
Oh,
necessarily.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you can certainly be a monk without being a priest.
Mhm.
Really?
And you can be a priest without being a monk. But I'm a monk
And you can be
priest.
both at the same time if you.
Are
Yeah.
there people that are like, you know what? I believe in God, and I want to join because I want to believe in God and make beer. Are there people that do that?
I
It's
don't
kinda-
know that somebody's come with that
I
particular
feel there's
narrative.
like several steps before you get to
Really?
that point.
Or is it a part of like, oh, I really want to, devote my life to God. I want to devote myself to this thing. Oh, we make beer? Oh, cool. Does that mean that kind of...
I think that's probably the case of it.
Okay. And
But
then
the
they're
whole
like,
process is very, very long. So
yeah, is it very shocking to people that you make beer? Because it's shocking to me that you made beer. You
To
know?
what?
It was shocking to me that like monks. I mean, I knew monks made beer. I guess somewhere in my mind, I knew that. But then it's weird. I grew up in this whole world where it's like Baptist people and alcohol is wrong. I came from dry counties where on Sundays they don't sell alcohol at all.
yeah,
Because of that's the devil's juice. But then to find out that monks make beer is like, whoa, holy wow.
Yeah.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute.
it's like the antechamber to hell.
Yeah,
you know,
and I can't be the only person out there that's like, oh wow, that does happen.
That's a neat question. So, do you have a favorite beer that you brew?
He's drinking. What
The
is that
dark
one?
ale.
What is that
This
one?
is the dark.
The dark
Monk's
ale.
Dark.
This is the dark
That's been
ale.
one of my favorites tonight.
Interesting. Very cool.
And if I don't drink this one, then I drink our number one, which is the
Yeah.
Monk's Ale.
Yeah, the standard, like the
Yeah.
go-to.
I'm gonna stray away
Oh my
from.
God.
Go for it.
Can I ask a question? Have you seen
I want to try his beer, if that's allowed.
Are drunk monks a thing?
Yeah.
No. Well, you see, in the monastery, we're fairly abstemious. About once a week, maybe twice if there's a special occasion,
Okay.
we have what's called the party, which means you just stand around and you have the chance to drink a beer or
Oh.
a glass of wine or a soda or something like that. But it's not generally available otherwise.
Okay.
So,
Gluttony.
and most of the time we don't drink our own beer.
No. What do you drink?
Just whoever goes to the store and buys what they buy.
A
you know.
PBR.
PBR.
Monks
Yeah.
drinking PBR.
No, if you're gonna go to the store and get it, and you only get it a couple times a week, you're
You're
probably
going to get
getting
something
some,
better than that. Hopefully.
like the special Budweiser that came
There
out.
really isn't
Yeah.
very many things in that area.
Right.
No. I have questions that have nothing to do with beer.
Okay.
So, what kind of music do you like?
Well, I'm fairly eclectic with
Yeah.
my music. Of course, since I grew up in the 60s and the 70s,
Okay.
I actually remember first seeing the Beatles on TV when they first came to
Okay.
the U.S. So my memory goes back a ways.
What was the first concert you ever saw?
The first concert I ever went to was John Denver,
Yes. Yes.
Rocky Mountain
So
High.
tight.
I
So
cried.
tight.
I cried when John Denver died.
I was fresh out of Iowa, and so I was with a bunch of guys, and he's singing Rocky Mountain High, and I said, "What's that smell?" And they look at me, "Are you kidding me?"
That's Rocky Mountain High. At the John Denver show. That's pretty funny. Who? So do you guys get to listen to like music?
I might listen to a little bit, but usually then it's classical or something.
Oh, really?
But some monks, they'll go around, they'll have earbuds in, and they're listening to some. But
Really?
my thing is that
That's fantastic.
if I've gone all the way up the canyon for silence, I
Yeah.
like to listen to silence.
Okay. Interesting.
Because that's part of my task,
Yeah.
too. I'm going to be returning to the monastery soon,
Okay.
and so I'll be a teacher.
A teacher. What do you teach?
I'll be assistant novice master, which means that I assist the young people who are coming in.
That is good, by the way. That is the
yes,
monks.
Isn't it, though? Excellent.
Dark ale. It's the dark side of the monastery, whatever that means.
So, is there are you allowed to name his name? The mastermind behind these beers?
Is there a head brewer? Like, is there a guy?
Yes,
What's
the
his
head
name?
brewer is Berkeley Merchant.
Okay.
He's also the general manager.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Of this place? Does he like float back and forth?
Yes.
Interesting.
And he's a monk too, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not a monk too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
Later, man. Thanks for coming. So, I don't know.
He's an oblate of the community, which means he's an associate of the community.
Do you guys get time off from the monastery? Other than, like, you're taking a sabbatical, like, to
This
do this?
is a time off for me, which just means that I have permission to live outside the cloister. You know.
Are there rules for you?
Yes, of course.
Like, are they pretty strict? Like, don't go see R-rated movies and stuff like that?
No, we don't get that particular. But,
Oh, okay.
You know.
What do you have in your head here?
Well, I don't know. I have, like, a lot of questions.
There's a lot
man.
of questions.
Was that not a question? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what.
That's a serious question.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you're a monk. You're on sabbatical. You're in downtown Albuquerque where there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Movies and who knows what, you know. I don't know.
But, you know, I've been here almost a year and a half, and I've seen one movie, and that was with my sister and brother-in-law who came a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So,
Was it Star Wars?
no, it was with Denzel Washington, whatever that film was. I fell asleep, so I can't.
Interesting.
Can you describe a typical day in a monastery?
Yeah.
Well, a typical day in our monastery is that you rise early.
Like,
usually when I'm there, I get up at 3:30, 3:45.
I'm sorry, 3:30.
Wow.
Yes, and we begin prayer at 4:15.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that's in the chapel. And then there's a space of an hour or so. And then you return to the chapel for lauds, which is the morning praise, the first, which is just psalms and readings. And then we celebrate Mass together, the Mass of the day. And then there's personal time, take a shower, go for a walk, whatever. And then there's a work meeting, and then you begin work.
What kind of work, though?
Well, our primary, one of the things for Benedictines is hospitality. So the one way we express that hospitality is by having a guest house. So we have about 20 or 25 guests at any given period.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they're overnight guests, and they eat with the monks, but all the meals with the monks are in silence. There's a reading, table reading. So
I've done dinners of absolute silence.
Mm-hmm.
There's the weirdest part is I've done them in a restaurant where we've had a full table about that big, and we're all silent. And the weirdest part is it's hard for people that aren't used to it.
Oh yeah,
it's interesting. It kind of
only
creeps
because
people
Chris
out.
talks all the time.
No, but I mean, imagine like you're in this bar, and that table right there are all sitting and drinking in absolute silence. Everybody immediately starts talking about it after a while. It's very interesting. But so that's got to be interesting for the people that visit.
Yeah, well, that's part of when you asked earlier about the vow of silence.
Yeah.
We don't take a vow of silence. It's a monastic practice that opens one to other spiritual growth. So getting used to silence and solitude, to an horarium, to a schedule that you're going to follow, getting up early.
Yeah. I bet you don't have a smartphone.
I do have one here, but the thing up in the canyon is that they don't function because there's no cell phones.
No service.
No service.
They can still play
radio,
music, right?
Yeah.
John Denver.
You have a glorified MP3 player.
Yeah.
We're about lunchtime. So what happens the rest of the day?
Well, the lunch time is really what we call the main meal because there's only one meal that you have to be at each day.
Yeah.
And that's at about 1:15 or so. And the monks are all ready for that, because after that is one of the most sacred times of the day, which is nap time. It's
agreed.
It's the only rule that says that after monks eat, they go and lie on their beds in silence, you see. And if you can't sleep, then you are to read quietly.
Yeah.
So that's why I love my naps.
Oh, man. Do you read a lot of books?
Yes, a good number. Well, I need to, anyway, for what
Yeah.
I do. But then, you see, each day there are 7 periods of communal prayer. 7 times a day I will praise you.
Okay.
So those 7 periods, plus the celebration of the Eucharist, we've gathered together for Mass. So it's a good number of hours a day. And the reason that we have that luxury is because we're in community. And we're working for the same purpose. We work 5 or 6 hours a day. And we only have to work at a particular project 5 or 6 hours because everybody else is working. So we're all, like somebody said the other day, we were asking about, or somehow we were talking about communism. I said, well, I've been a communist most of my life. And,
Right.
you know, communal living, it's
Yeah,
all about
exactly.
that. That's what it is. So,
Making sure that you and everyone around you is fed.
yes. Well,
Clothed, fed, shelter.
according to the rule of St. Benedict, everyone should receive what they need. Not what they want, but what they need.
What they need.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. That's cool. What is the most frivolous thing that you do?
the most frivolous thing.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. It's probably coming to work in the tap room.
It's coming over in the tavern.
Cheers. Actually, I wanted to cheers you, but you drank your beer.
Finished your beer, yeah.
So how hard is it going to be to transition back to this life after being on sabbatical here?
I don't think it'll be that difficult for me at
Yeah.
all. I was just there at Christmas time,
Is it like a
and
relief?
I found that,
Will it be like a relief to go back?
Yeah.
well, somewhat, yeah, because there's something about having a daily schedule that is invariable,
Yeah.
inexorable. It
Yeah.
just happens every day, with or without me.
Okay.
And I take part in it. But I found it quite easy, even though I have been out of it for a while, you know, to get up at 3:30 and be anxious to go to chapel,
Oh, wow.
you know, because I've lived that life for many years. So,
How many years?
oh, a long time. Before you were born, my son.
42.
Can I ask what age
Almost.
you went into this? Like, as a teenager, like in your mid-20s?
No, I went to the seminary, which I studied in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
in the 70s, which was
A little,
interesting time to be in Washington.
Yeah, I was going to say that's very turbulent, right?
So I was 20 years old then. So
Okay.
I was a young man. But that was typical in those days. Everyone going for studies at that period was quite young.
Yeah.
Because we had 50 men in the seminary. The oldest was 30 years old.
Wow.
So, you know, it's...
I guess, like, as far as a priest versus a monk, that you have like a congregation. You don't have that when you're in the monastery. You don't have people that you draw every Sunday.
No.
It's
Well, the purpose of the priest, of course, in a monastic community is to provide for the needs of the community.
Right.
So, for the most part, that's the celebration of the Eucharist and the sacraments.
Okay.
And the opportunity to preach, which I like doing. So
you in the monastery, of course, you don't have people every Sunday like crowding your monastery.
Yeah.
no. Well, although up at Christ in the Desert, even though we're very remote, the chapel on Sundays is almost always filled.
Awesome.
So people come out there, even though it's quite a drive to get there.
Yeah. So you said you've been in this life for a number of years.
I say 30 years.
No. I mean, I was born in 75. He said longer than me. I'm 42.
I was ordained in 1979.
Okay, so all right, then I was alive. Ha, ha, 75. So, if you were to go back to that young man in that time, would you still choose this life?
Well, who knows?
Who knows?
There were different reasons why I chose it at that time than I would have say today.
Yeah.
And that's normal because we all change as we grow, and we have different experiences, and we have realized there are different purposes in life, and that's just the way it is.
If you were going to say something to someone who is in their 20s that is thinking about doing what you do, what advice would you give them?
Well, I don't know that I would give them any advice about, in particular, how to become a monk.
Yeah.
Because I still believe it's very much a calling. Either it fits or it doesn't fit. And we discovered that quite early when somebody comes to the monastery with this kind of romantic idea about what it should be.
Yeah.
But if they can't get up in the morning, well, you might as well forget it. You know?
I'm not really a morning person, guys.
Here's
the road back.
If you can't,
if you have to be drug out of bed every day, no, forget it. That's a nice idea, but try something else.
Does that happen? Do they go, all right, Johnny, we tried it.
Well,
thank you.
Here's my question: what time do you go to bed at night?
Me, usually I go as early as possible. Even
7? 6?
Well, no, because in the monastery, according to the horarium, the hours, counting the hours, the last thing is usually 7:30 or 8. But almost immediately afterwards, I go to my room, I take my dog out for a walk, and then I go to bed.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a German short-haired pointer.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you think, as far as being part of this brewery, have you ever been drunk?
Oh, of course. I mean, how else do you find out what your limit is, you know?
I like that.
But it happened with cold duck, you know. It's just.
Wait a second. Say this again. Say this again.
It happened with cold duck.
Okay, so I have a history of cold duck.
Do you?
I do.
I'm sorry. What's it called? Cold duck?
Yes, it's a wine champagne mixture.
Yes.
And it's made by Andre.
It's very sweet and bubbly.
And it's fantastic until you throw it up on someone's carpet.
You were there.
I was there. I have done it. So I have a college story where everyone always brings it up. I went on spring break with my college friends, and I'm a big cold duck.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic, beverage.
It sneaks up on you.
It really does.
You're doing fine until you're not.
In college, we called it the driving liqueur because we would drive from the store and drink it on the way home, which is not something I would say is a good idea, but I was young and stupid in those days and don't drink cold duck anymore, but it does. It does.
That was the first and last time I drank it.
Oh, it really comes at you. You're like, this is tasty. I'll have my fourth glass. Blah,
So being part
One
of the
glass too
church,
many.
were you assigned here or you chose to be here?
No, I actually chose some time away, and this was an opportunity.
Well, he means like in New Mexico, right?
In New Mexico,
New Mexico?
So
Oh,
you're in
that.
Iowa,
I
you're in
chose
Washington,
that.
D.C.,
Yeah.
and why New Mexico?
Because that's where the monastery is.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Aren't there other monasteries, though?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, there are monasteries everywhere.
Yeah.
So why New Mexico?
Because I was particularly drawn to the simple life in this remote monastery.
Oh, wow.
See, when I first went there in 1978,
Yeah.
there was absolutely no electricity at all. Now that we produce our own electricity,
Yeah.
there were just small huts that you lived in, and it was a very small community.
Sure.
So
The one I
that
was in
all-
before, too loud.
yeah.
No, thank you.
I was in a monastery in Tampa, Florida. It was like a party town.
He's like,
monks.
yeah, well, no thank you.
Too much electricity.
Too much Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
So outside of the monastery, what are some of your like favorite things to do?
I like hiking and biking, those kinds of things.
Yeah. You're on Facebook. I saw that.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I'm primarily on Facebook so I can get all the pictures from the family.
Oh, that's cool.
Because otherwise I can't get
such
those
a safe
things.
answer. I was like, I really like K-pop. Or like I really like Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber's cool.
I love
TMZ. I'm really into that. I don't know who the Kardashians are. But
only when I'm on
fantastic.
sabbatical, though.
Yeah. I just think I don't know. It's like for us to get to interview you is like just like a really amazing thing because it's just.
And I feel so ignorant. And I was like,
yeah.
I want to answer.
And you see, for me,
yeah.
who lives what I think is a very ordinary life, it's far
it's far different from what we. I guess I don't want to say what we live, but
yeah.
When you say, "Oh, no problem," I wake up at 3:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
What time do you have to go on the radio? Jeez Louise.
But there are a lot of people that get up that early and go to work.
I used to.
So,
radio.
I was like not as early as 3:30, but I was waking up at like 4:30 to get to work and to do that. I wasn't so. I don't know. It's very interesting to hear how the daily life of a monk and to see. Like to understand what you actually go through on a day-to-day basis.
Part of this amazing.
Like
brewery.
I didn't realize that you could actually you had a dog with you, and you could have a dog in the monastery with you.
Have you seen the movie Nacho Libre? And does that offend you?
Well, I have to confess, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you, because he has never seen that movie, and that movie's.
I just saw that the other day.
I like it.
First time.
It's Jack Black. He's like he's a priest.
I think you should watch the movie Nacho Libre and be like, that's not how it is at all.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Well, I enjoy movies, but usually they have to be
what's
kind
your
of
favorite
a documentary.
What's your favorite movie?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wow.
Very cool. Very cool.
With
it's very artistic, and I've watched it, I think, 9 times.
No, Atticus
That's with
Finch.
Yes.
No, who is?
Well,
not Jimmy Stewart. It's
Jimmy Stewart. Yeah,
is it Jimmy Stewart?
Yeah,
no.
it's Jimmy Stewart.
I watched that movie in high school, and like I've watched it a couple times after, and I still. Like,
I think it's
I
Jimmy
love
Stewart.
that movie. I love To Kill a Mockingbird.
I don't think so.
Do you like? I was actually in the bathroom as far as your favorite music compositions go.
Gregory Peck.
Yes.
As Atticus Finch.
Yes, Atticus.
Yeah. Such a great book.
Yes.
And then she wrote another one. I haven't read it.
I have the book, but I haven't read it yet.
The new one? Yeah.
Yes.
She just recently, like, it's like I wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and then I'm going to take like a, I don't know, 30-year hiatus, 40-year hiatus, and then I'll put another one out. You know, it's like, wait a minute.
I'm saying
it's one of the coolest things because she's in the same sorority as I am.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I have that connection. And I'm like, I'm really proud to, like, really know that book and see it and read it and everything.
People are saying in the chat like they love this conversation.
To like update you on like 2017 life, but like it's now
18.
YouTube videos. There's this thing called memes where it's like a funny.
He's like,
picture.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is. He's like, you live downtown, right?
No, I live on the edge.
No, it lives on the edge.
I live almost in Corrales.
Like there's such like a connection or like a dependence really on technology.
Yeah.
And so you have everything you ever wanted at your fingertips. Any knowledgeable thing you ever wanted to know about monks, I could actually learn everything know about monks from Wikipedia or whatever.
I don't know.
But still, but still, I'm going to look at memes and cat videos.
So how do you think... I don't know how to put this. How do you think, like, you know, your life is going to keep going into like this technological age? Do you guys have like the internet? I mean, is it?
Do you have recruitment? Is there like people coming in?
Yeah.
Oh yes. At the moment, we have. When I was there at Christmas time, there are almost 45 in the community.
Yeah.
Most of them new members, young.
Oh wow!
How many novices?
Wow. Do you come in and you're like, all right,
I don't
you
know
guys.
the exact number of novices, but.
Novices.
But it's also a very international community. I think it's
Yeah.
11 different nations they represented there.
Yeah. Do you guys roll in and you're like, all right, all you punks, you new guys?
No.
No?
No.
That's good. Because I wouldn't do that either. I would totally not do that either. So
Well-
how do you guys, I mean, do you think that, like, maybe there's a lot of people that are like, I want to, there's too much technology, too much electronics, too much TV, too much video, and they, like,
Do you know who
go
would-
to that lifestyle to maybe get away from a lot of that?
Well, the thing is that even at that remote canyon, we have internet access.
Okay.
Not very good, but
No.
we have it there. And
Enough to email your family.
anybody can busy themselves with obscure things that are outside what the real purpose of the life is about. But that's part of the challenge.
Wow.
If you come to the monastery to be a monk, be a monk.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it ever happen where you're kind of like, you kind of talk to somebody and you're like, you know, maybe this isn't what you want to do?
More than once, yes. I
Oh,
say
man.
you're a wonderful person. It's like having
Billy,
having to fire somebody. You know?
Billy, I think that you do good music. You sing well. Maybe 10 drink minimum is not for you as a thing. Yeah.
Well, you just say, I think you'd flourish other places.
Yeah, you'll flourish other places. We believe in you.
It's basically the sound of music, like how like she was not a part of the
family.
Yeah.
no, what was she's a nun.
What's
so
to
what-
do about Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me. And I was like, well, you need to go and do 10 drink minimum. You're not a part
And
of
discover who you are
Yeah.
until- before you commit.
not
Man.
part of the Abbey. What you need to do is go and be a part of this 10 drink minimum family. What are we going to do about Billy?
Yes. Yes.
That was
Man,
me.
This has been fantastic. I'm just so, I love interviewing like people that I'm just like, they do something that I just have no idea about, you know? It's fantastic. It's just one of those things. Is there something you want to just like throw in there at the end, like you want to add to this whole conversation?
Actually, I have another question. So,
Go for it, yeah.
when you go back to the monastery, is
Yeah.
there somebody that takes your place as far as
Oh
this?
yeah.
I really don't know. I doubt it, actually.
Oh.
I tend to be someone who volunteers for the jobs that nobody else wants.
Oh, no one wanted
I mean-
this job?
Well, because you become a monk not for this.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
That okay.
So you
Wow.
were taking the bullet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I took
like-
the bullet.
You took the bullet. You're like, all
I
right.
was thrown under the
Guys,
bus.
you're gonna need to go to Albuquerque. You're gonna run a tap room,
And you have like tons of free beer.
lots of free beer,
Like the most beer you could ever imagine
fun.
drinking.
You're gonna have fun, and they're like,
I'm suspecting more. It's like, and we can have so many hiking times in the Sandias.
and they're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass. Anyone? Don't make me pick. Don't make me be the one that has to
Is there a
pick.
prefix? Are you call like brother or like father?
In some monasteries, it's always brother.
Okay.
Okay.
I helped form a monastery in Chicago.
Oh
and
wow.
it was always brother there. But in this monastery
North or
here-
south of Chicago?
The south side.
Oh.
All right.
Dang. So you,
Bridgeport.
Okay.
There you
White
go.
Sox.
Okay.
Okay.
All
White
right.
Sox. I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm just saying. You know.
so your
I always
brother.
figured it wasn't safe to go on the north side.
Whoa! Whoa! To the Cubby games? I don't know. I think it's fun. There's no lights there, apparently. I got you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, my goodness.
So
This has been
informative.
fantastic.
And the beer that monks make.
Yeah.
Is
Thank you for
Delightful.
allowing us to come here and do our show.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming. It's always
Yeah.
good to
always
invite people
live.
in. The reason that we're on a corner, of course,
Yeah.
is that what happens on a corner except friends meet there.
Yeah.
So that's what this is supposed to be.
I like
That
that.
is
It's
very
a place
cool.
where friends meet and enjoy beer.
I like that.
So
That is
And
a, way,
you
that's
have
a really cool way
bunch
to
of
think
outlets for charging
Dude,
phones.
you guys have a really great tap room here.
Tap room and a great freaking business model of outlets.
It's funny because like we've done our show at a lot of places.
Yes.
And this has been the easiest setup we've ever done.
Oh, really?
Because the way you guys have set up this tap room, like there's outlets everywhere.
Yes.
And that's so awesome. The internet
with
was
USBs in them.
Yes. And then like the internet's right there. Monk's Corner Tap Room, I can't say enough good things. I've had great beer today. We've had great conversation. I hope everybody's really enjoyed it. The people in the chat seem to really dig it. Everybody always asks, like, well, why do you want to do this show or why do you want to talk to this person? I'm like, because I've never heard anybody else do it. So why not, you know?
Right.
Let's sit down, let's talk, let's be friends, let's bridge connections.
When do you get to talk to a monk in
Right.
a brewery
Ever.
on a Saturday night?
And
That
wherever you get to
brews
talk
the
to
beer.
a monk
That helps
and then a monk in a brewery, you know? When you said you were a monk, I was like, wait, whoa, that's the conversation right there. That you were like, what are we going to talk about? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. 'Cause, man, that's amazing, you know?
It's something weird.
I don't think it's weird. I just think it's one of those things that a lot of people don't get to experience.
Well,
you know,
it's like somebody asked me today.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people at the bar. You know,
Yeah.
when they find out I'm a monk, they say, "Well, what do monks do?" I said, "Well, there's not much that we do to justify our existence. we just are. Monks are.
Monks are.
Yeah,
it's very.
That's the way it works."
Well, thank you for letting us come out to your beautiful tap room here in downtown Albuquerque. We'd love to come back if you guys.
Not only is it beautiful, it's very practical and aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much going to be my future.
Yeah.
If I don't make it, I'm like, that sounds amazing. I could do that. I would love it.
Yes. I want to thank everybody that's watched this show today. Monk's Tap Room, I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank Billy, Smiley, and Michael for coming out. And go to 10drinkminimum.com. You can add us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the cool social medias. Give us a push. Add us on iTunes. Give us a review on iTunes. All that cool stuff. We have T-shirts. We're going to sell them. $10 a pop. I think they're pretty nice. I like them. I designed them. I had fun with them. Thank you to Thomas for being on the show. Thank you for Alan for being on the show.
Brother Thomas.
Is it brother?
Oftentimes people say
oftentimes.
brother.
Thank you for being. Yeah, go for it.
Otherwise, it's father.
Father Thomas. Thank you, Father Thomas, for being on the show. And with that, thank you for watching. We are 10 Drink Minimum.
Thank you.